welcome to this midday market mood check this Friday afternoon. Well, Yatin, today the bulls are clearly in Friday mode and party mode. What about
Correct.
you? Are you?
So, yes, obviously, and ever since we had a good expiry yesterday, I think the mood of the market was always positive, and we are bucking the international trend.
Yeah.
The international markets are soft, and despite that, we are almost 120 points up on the Nifty, and 18,400 Nandita was a key resistance zone,
yeah.
and we're trading about that mark. So hopefully, if we sustain this level in the second half, the bulls could probably have some further wings.
Yeah, and we will, of course, next week we'll watch out for the fact that whether Nifty can break out of this 18,300 to 18,450
Yes,
range
yes.
to move higher than 18,500 or not. So we'll be watching out for that next week, of course. But let's talk about today's market action. As I mentioned, triple digit up move on the Nifty, 18,400 decisively crossed. Sensex was up 400 points, 62,200 was where it was at. Broader markets also in fine fettle. When you look at the sectors, most of them were in the green, led by autos, PSU, banks, IT, metals, all of these sectors participating. But it was the Realty pack that was not doing all that well compared to its peers. If you look at the Nifty gainers, Reliance is one of the top gainers today. Hindalco, which was down yesterday after weakish numbers, that's also up today. You have Tech Mahindra, Divi's Lab extending gains from yesterday. HCL Tech among the top losers. What's not doing well? ONGC ahead of numbers. Among the top losers, Grasim also reporting numbers today. That's also down in the session today. Power Grid, HDFC Twins and Airtel. That was a top gainer on the Nifty yesterday. It's down in today's trade. Aside of that, if you look at the Qs, of course, M&M will be reporting its fourth quarter numbers. Strong volume growth expected in both auto and tractor segment.
Yes.
And Sun Pharma is the other one that will be reporting numbers. Specialty business is something that is expected to drive earnings for Sun Pharma. But, the import alert for its Halol unit could wane on the numbers this time around. So that's something that we are watching out for. Aside of that, Z Entertainment was gaining in today's session despite weak numbers because it is expecting some bit of relief to come in from the NCLT hearing on its Sony merger. So it's waiting for that, and because of that, the stock is up somewhere around 3% or thereabouts. ONGC, as I mentioned, among the top losers, revenues are expected to slide 5% on a quarter-on-quarter basis, and margins are also not looking that great when it comes to expectations. Vis-a-vis 53% on a quarter-on-quarter basis, it may come in around 56% or thereabouts. But a lot of mid-cap movers today.
Absolutely.
Page Industries deserves mention. Not so comfortable day for Page Industries given the fact that it has tumbled 10% now. Earlier it was down 15%. So clocked in 5% of a rebound. But commentary was pretty weak. And even brokerages, even though they have maintained their overweight rating, they say 2 more quarters of a revenue decline for the company. And any recovery would only be driven by some kind of margin recovery. So that's one stock. But aside of that, what are the other movers in trade?
So MedPlus, strong quarterly numbers, stock is up 20%, and we also have Nucleus Software. A few minutes back, they reported the quarterly earnings, and they have reported EPS of nearly 25 rupees for the quarter, which is quite strong. In fact, there has been a big growth on a sequential basis also, as well as on a year-on-year basis. So very strong numbers from Nucleus Software. Last quarter, management was saying that they were repricing their contracts with the banking institutions, because of which there could be some fillip to the earnings. That's what exactly has been happening with the earnings.
Stock was up 20%.
Yeah, 20% right now. Indus Tower, yesterday we spoke about this stock in the focus list on the closing show. Obviously, if you missed that, you probably missed the 6% move on Indus Tower once again. Because that stock is also gaining some traction. National Aluminium, which is Hindalco, that stock is up 5%. What's not doing well is Star Health. There was a block deal of nearly 1.2 crore shares at a price of close to 540, and after that deal, the stock is down nearly 6%. Adani Transmission, Adani Total Gas are the other losers as far as the mid-cap end of the market is concerned. We also are looking at PPL Pharma, which is gaining second day in a row, 4% up for that one, after the management has given decent commentary with respect to the guidance in FY24 versus FY23. Praj Industries, after a good set of earnings, that stock is also up 5%.
Mrs. Bector's is another stock that was doing extremely well. I think 10% up on the back of very strong earnings in the fourth quarter. I think, in the second half, as Yatin mentioned, we'll be watching out for whether or not we can, come out of this range. But I also want to mention that IMD has retained its normal monsoon forecast, which could bode well for, all these rural-facing stocks going forward. So that's another good news coming in on this Friday for the markets. But for now, I think we are done with all the stock checks this afternoon. And we'll of course be back at 3:30 p.m. with all the market action post close. So do tune in at 3:30 p.m. But for now, it's a goodbye from me and Yatin. Thanks a lot.